Welcome back, boys and girls, to History of the World in 2 Hours. I hope that you enjoyed yesterday's part of the movie. And I just want you to remember that we understand that these are theories and you may or may not totally agree with some of these ideas. And that's okay, but I appreciate your open mindedness and a look at the scientific viewpoint of some of these ideas. Today, I'd like to review the answers right here, and then we are going to go ahead and move on to the next part of this movie. So I'm going to close this for now so I can go ahead and scroll through this a little bit better. So if we read through this, 13.7 billion years before present. Oh, do you have your papers out? Will you please make sure that you have your papers out sitting in front of you, a pencil or a pen to make corrections with? You might even want to add in some notes. So go ahead, have your papers out, pen and pencil, and be ready to correct. Thanks for grabbing your stuff. Sorry I forgot to mention that earlier. You probably actually already have it out. I should have known. Okay, so right here we are at 13.7 billion years before present. And that part of the movie, it says the universe began with the Big Bang. Universe is this first blank. I can't type in there, so thank you for just going ahead and making sure you have the word universe. If you need to know how to spell it, the cool thing is you've got a word bank. So your spelling can be perfect because you just have to go down here and find the word universe. I always love that because my spelling's not perfect, so I like to have the word bank to double check myself. Okay, next one down, right here. 13.4 billion years before present. Stars are born creating elements. Exploding stars called, everyone? That's right, supernovas provided energy needed to form heavy metals. They talk about this for quite a while and how important this step is in our creation. Supernovas is that blank right here. If you're not sure how to spell it, go down to your wood bank. 4.6 billion years before present, our sun is born. You got it. We know the sun is very important to our existence, and that happened about 4.6 billion years ago. Moving on. Oh, you know what? I was going to ask you guys. Do you know how much mass the sun takes up in our solar system? You probably learned this in science, or you will later on in the year. But the sun takes up 99.8% of our solar system. The sun's mass is so huge, I'm not sure our brains can really wrap around it. The sun's mass is 1 million Earths in one sun. You can fit 1 million Earths inside the sun. Isn't that crazy? 99.8% of our solar system is the sun's mass. That is a pretty hard thing to understand for our brains, I think. Just keep that in mind. Maybe ask a parent tonight or a grandparent tonight at dinner and see if they know that fast little fact. Next section, 4.5 billion years before present, our Earth is born. Earth. Our Earth is born. An object the size of Mars smashes into Earth. The debris forms our moon. Moon is this blank right here. Moon. You might remember they talk about the moon taking about 1 year to form after that collision. But they talk about how important the moon is. If I were in front of you right now, we'd be having a discussion. Do you remember why the moon is so important? What was the big deal about the moon? It's a bunch of stuff just squished together. Why do we care? Well, we care because the moon allowed our Earth to stop wobbling. The gravitational pull allowed the Earth to have a steady movement, and that allowed the days to get longer to 24 hours in a day. It also allowed for seasons because the Earth was a little cockeyed on the axis. You've seen those. I would show you right now the globe in my classroom, and you would see that the Earth is a little bit off kilter. That's not an accident by the makers of the globe. That's on purpose because of this situation. And now the Earth has seasons. It has a steady movement. It has a climate, it has a gravitational pull. So all of those things happen because of the moon. So without the moon, we are not who we are today. That we can say. Moving on to 4.4 billion years before present. It says Earth steams in the atmosphere as planet cools. Rain falls for many years, and the planet is covered in one ocean. It actually rains for millions of years. I don't think I could have handled that. It rained last week for about 4 days and I'd had enough. Imagine raining for millions of years in order to be able to create rivers and lakes and oceans. So, pretty cool, but a long, long weather pattern right there. Then it goes on in the movie to talk about bacteria and rust and other things. I hope you got all that stuff down in your brain, kind of took it in. It's a lot to think about. It's a pretty big idea and a lot to process. But today we're going to go ahead and start with where we left off the day before, and that is at 550 million years before present. So I'm going to go ahead and start playing the movie, and you're going to go ahead again, just like yesterday. Before I play the movie, you'll read all of this information, you'll read down through it, you'll double check your word box, see which words are still available, and then when the movie's over for today, you can go ahead and finish filling in these word boxes. And then we'll correct them tomorrow as we just did today, and we'll discuss some of these parts. Noticing that there's lots of scientists on here with different areas of expertise. It shows on the screen where they're from and what they study. So take that in. We're about ready to see some different life forms coming under Earth. So I think that might interest you. By the way, boys and girls, we are not on the geohistogram yet. We noticed the geohistogram the other day. Here's the geohistogram. We're not here yet at all. Okay, so here we are in the geohistogram. Here's the United States. We are not even a blip on this thing yet. We are far, far from that yet in the formation of the universe and the earth. So just as a point of reference, we're not quite there yet. Okay, right now I'm going to go ahead and shift over to the movie and you guys can watch.